So Tom, we were talking about the excitement that happens back in Mackinac.
The boats start leaving Wednesday. Most of the boats are gone, and the island kind of settles down. Especially some of the boats that already did one race, it's time to get home. And we have Freshwater, Nelson Merrick 50 IR out of Wyoming, Michigan, and that's very great.
So gift cards in the Mercadito activation area. And samples. That's always a good thing, right here on the pier. And a mariachi band. I mean, there's more and more. Love it.
Keeps going. Anyways, special shout out to all our sponsors. It's important to keep this event going. It's important to help us all have a good time. Right now, coming past us, we missed Denali out there, pretty blue boat, the initial really cool paint job. And Mary Gale is a J112E. That's its go. Rich Stearns, how you doing, Rich? How you doing? Another year, another thing. Boy, there's a whole way too much. All I know his dad actually won an Olympic medal. Far Cry, I'm going to guess that's a far design boat, pretty easy. And Far Cry is a Far 53. Far is one of the premier designers, and you recognize the boats. They're very fast. Some of the boats have their spinnakers up, and some of them don't. So might have a little bit of different wind there. Right now there's not a lot of wind, looking at the flags. So sometimes a smaller sail can actually be more efficient than trying to keep your big sail flying. We have a J130 out there, fast heading, Mike and Mary Ellen Faring. They're in section 3. And from Phoenix, Arizona, so you guys should be used to the heat, although I imagine the humidity is a little bit different. I think I checked, because we got friends out there. It's 108 or something out there, but it's a dry heat, so your bones stick around while the rest of
We're obviously seeing all these amazing boats parade by. Talk about what the official process is to starting the race and why that's sort of a requirement for boats to follow this route.
Yeah, well, sailboat racing races under rules. There's rules about right away when you're sailing among other boats, and then there's starting rules. Starting rules take place with a series of horns and guns. There's an imaginary line between a buoy, there's an imaginary line between the flag on that boat and this mark. You want to be at that line going as fast as you can when your gun starts. If you're over the line, you have to come back and you have no rights. So basically you could get stuck between some boats and keep going. Jason's coming by right here, it's a par 395. So you want to be on the line going as fast as you can. I can do better than that. 1, 2, 3.
Go ahead!
That's what I like to hear. All right, thank you. Edstein, Commodore Edstein.
And then we did have a modified par 40 that just went by over there, usual suspects. They're out of East Grand Rapids, Michigan.
So Tom, you mentioned these boats, the blue boat and the white boat out here kind of being a line. So those aren't just party boats. Those aren't just people hanging out, like catching the
here, and it's a requirement to go through that line. So as they go through there are people that are recording the sail number section, and they're checking boats in because they need to know. You can see if you look out there, you got to start getting ready. It's very crowded. So this is the first check. If you don't do this, you get a time penalty. If you start early and you don't come back, you get a time penalty. So it's all about structure. You can track the race and you can see boats how they're doing. Same thing at the finish. They know a sail number, they're watching as they cross the finish line, they get it done, and they record when they finish it, and then they plug it in the phone.
So when does the clock start for a boat?
When their starting time is. We don't care when you cross the starting line.
Okay.
If your section is designed to go up to
Don't make it to the finish line at 8:30 when the Chicago Marathon starts. It's too bad because
well, you can make it to the finish line almost any time.
the start line. Sorry.
Although there are time limits on that too. Right. If you don't make it to the starting line, and if you start, once again, those are brag flags. Those are. Yep, that's Tripwire. We got a shout out for you right here. Tripwire is a Trip 47 out of Adana. We would alternate every 2 hours and 4 hours off. So every 2 hours somebody was coming up on deck, either a new driver to get everybody motivated or a whole new group to take over. A storm hits or something, guess what? All hands on deck to take care of what's going on, and that's happened more than once. You do what you have to do. If you're off watch, you go back down below when you're done. Just had strikes go by. That's Santa Cruz 70 out of Ann Arbor, Bill Martin. They've won their section before, and they've won the race before, I believe. So stripes out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and in light air. Anybody can make a boat move when it's blowing 10 miles an hour out of the beam and you're going along. It's the light air strategy in the night where people kind of slack off. And not slack off, but just lose their focus. I had a girl that sailed with me. She was an ER nurse. She always had that middle shift because she was alert. She was used to working at night.
So Tom, I've heard you mention ships from Portland, from Phoenix, which is kind of an unexpected place for a boat to be from. How many states, how many nations are represented in this race typically?
You know, I think we just are dealing with the U.S. this year. There might be some, maybe Canadian. We get some Canadian boats. We've had boats come in from Hawaii, which technically is still the U.S. Had about 1 year, I remember, because he introduced it, he gave me a hat from New Zealand. It was a Mum 30, and he brought his boat all the way to the United States and did a whole tour of the United States on his boat. And the Mac race was one of his races, and he was from New Zealand. So that's probably the farthest. One thing about Lake Michigan, the waves may not get as high as an ocean race, but they're very close together. So you're going boom, boom, boom. The waves, the ocean made up 30-foot waves, but you're going up and down, up and down. Whereas in Lake Michigan, all right, I gotta take a break here with my talking. It's a meeting. Lots of good people on there. Rick Hayes sent me a whole bunch of stuff. I got a shout out from the whole group here. Young man.
We're gonna win out there.
Okay, right behind them we have Renegade to J130 from Gwinnett, Illinois. Tom and Beth. I'm going to say that bad. They're in section 3, Renegade.
Now, Tom, quickly, we talked about America's Cup having their first freshwater race this last month on Lake Michigan here. What's the difference between freshwater and saltwater sailing?
Salt, basically. I mean, it's not, you know, it sounds like a cliche, but ocean racing can be an adventure. You got to clean your boat off, keep it clean. Lucky you be coming right by here. It's the J111, part of the J111 class. They have 15 boats this year. Good job. Anyway, saltwater just is corrosive. You know, you see dolphins saltwater racing. You see seals. I've done it. It's cool, but it puts a wear and tear on your boat and wear and tear on your crew.
A different strategy or different conditions?
Not much. Just the waves and tides. Obviously, we don't have tides in Lake Michigan, so you don't have to plan on tides. Kokomo's coming by every year I say this. I'm going to repeat myself. Kokomo was involved in the rescue a few years back. They had a boat that flipped over, and Kokomo stood by and helped them get out and kept them safe so those sailors could be rescued at night. So every year at Kokomo, I remind them, because in racing, you're racing, but life comes first. Sailors come first.
We've got another J111 Momentous out of Oak Park, Illinois. Sail number 24, again, that's the big class of boats, the J111s. And behind that, we've got Car 40 Hotlets. Hotlets did really, really well in this race last year. Really well sailboat. Very, very competitive class.
from Nelson America 52. You guys, it's a little warm up here today. The sweat is running in my eyes, but at least I get no air conditioning. You guys get a day and a half of this, but that's okay. Hello, I see you. All right, promo, Nelson America 52, Fremont, Wisconsin. John Cougar, been racing that boat for, they just got this boat last year, and worked with the Genesis 37.9 for 20 years. Doesn't have a lot of big boat experience, but that's okay. You're on a big boat, you're going to be comfortable, you're going on the Mac race. What more can you ask for? You have a good, safe trip, guys. Definitely a family team. Bob Zeman, his daughter Laura, Tone's on board, I'm assuming. And Bob is doing 50th Mac, I believe. Anyways, that's a Nelson America 68. And they put a lot of work into that boat to get it in the shape it's in. Not that it was bad, but boy, does she look pretty. Good job, guys. Have a good race. Here comes Defiant. Here comes Defiant. Wow. Get him up here.
These guys every year they do the Chicago Mac, they also do the Bayview Mac. Really well sailed boat. I've got some people here that want to say hello. Hi Dad, have a great race. We love you. We'll see you at back.
Someone's shy. I can say hello too. I think I know a few, half a dozen people. Alright, here we have an extensively modified, only because I sailed against Manitou for a while, but it's a Nelson America 43 Tyrant. They put a lot of work in that boat, changed her out, remodified it, and made it into a turbo racer. Tyrant out of Holland, Michigan. He's telling you check out the sports in Michigan. Holland's one of my favorites. Have a good, safe race, guys. Andrew Bob Hughes, skipper of that boat. He keeps changing boats on me, but he's always competitive. A good, safe trip, guys. Love your shirts. Leon is in, and that's Heartbreaker. That's Transpac 52 or TP 52. And when that boat turns, you're going to see just how wide the back of that boat is. That boat is designed to go very fast. It's a modern design, little freeboard, very wide, not a lot of hull in the water. And they have a design feel. Oh, we had a shout out from somebody. All right, go green. Good for you guys.